You're watching Training Camp with Adam Marburger, exclusively on CBT News.
Welcome to another episode of Training Camp exclusively on CBT News. I'm your host, Adam Marburger. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a black belt in automotive, and this show's designed to help automotive professionals grow personally and professionally to ultimately achieve their rank of black belt. Today's show is really special. We're working with a gentleman that has a very unique business. We're gonna dabble in the world of luxury today. So let's welcome our special guest, Gray Scott. Gray, thank you for coming on out
Adam,
today.
thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm fantastic, can't complain.
Yeah, so first, tell us a little bit about you and your store. Give us a little background on Ultimate Toys and yourself. How did you where were you and how did you get to where you are?
Yeah. Gray Scott, CMO of Ultimate Toys. It's so great to be here, Adam. My entire career has been the automotive industry, which is super exciting. I don't think there's a day that goes by that's not dull, right?
Yeah.
And so I started off on the tech side, which is really cool because when you look at where automotive and technology has evolved within our industry, having started there, it's really cool to continue that progress today. And then moved over to retail, where now I'm our CMO here at Ultimate Toys, where we specialize in luxury products for the ultra luxury shopper.
Yeah. So who's your main audience? Who's your perfect customer?
Well, it's usually someone who demands a little bit more in life than the standard that you might get otherwise. We tend to focus on ultra luxury buyers, those who have higher disposable incomes that are looking for a more comfortable way to transport themselves or loved ones from A to B.
Yeah. So could you tell me a little bit, just so our guest and our audience knows, what kind of units are y'all selling?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so Ultimate Toys. What is Ultimate Toys? We are a ultra luxury Sprinter upfit dealership.
Okay.
We do not make the vans ourselves. However, we are the dealer that sells the vans. Just like a typical franchise dealer, they do not make the vehicles, they sell the vehicles. And so we currently have over 7 models with several more coming. We'll have over 10 models by the end of this year. And we focus on the transport aspect. And what makes us unique is that all of our Sprinter vans have a bathroom.
Okay.
With the exception of our people movers. So our shuttles, our people shuttles, they may not have a bathroom, but we've got everything from a weekender. So if you're going away for the weekend, it's got a full shower in the back. We've to your executive coach, that's going to have your captain's chairs and bench seats, the bathroom, large TVs, Starlink, Wi-Fi, what you need to get work done while you're on the road.
Yeah. So what your customer, what experience does your customer demand opposed to maybe just your average retail shopper?
I think service and support is number one. They want to know that they're being taken care of. They're making a large investment. They want to know that we take it as seriously as the investment that they're making, and that we also handle any problems that arise very quickly. But when you think about ultra luxury versus your standard retail customer, I don't think it varies much. At the end of the day, what do people want? To be treated with respect. They want to be treated in a timely fashion. They want to be heard. And it's the same for our customers as well.
Yeah. And you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, you're a nationwide company,
we are nationwide,
right?
yes.
You're
We
all
ship
50
nationwide. We are an online-based dealer.
Yeah.
We have a few locations. We've got one in Loveland, Ohio, which is where we store some of our vehicles pre-delivery. We've got our corporate office out of Cincinnati in Blue Ash, just outside the city. Then we have our primary distribution center, a PDC, out of Elkhart, Indiana. Elkhart, Indiana is probably most resemblant of a dealership. If you were to go to that location, you're not gonna be able to browse our lot and look at inventory, but once you go to the back of our building, we've got about 60 of these on the ground ready to go.
Yeah.
With a 2-month supply.
I was in one of those units about a year ago, and I hopped in at one of the clients that wanted a full mobile office.
Yeah.
And it was just decked out to the nines. And, for I got a dealer client in the KC market that he's got to hit, 20 some stores.
Yeah.
So he gets in that bad boy, he's got a driver, and he works in his mobile office.
100%, and that's what we see a lot of people do. We get a lot of families, so they're on the road. Maybe there's a traveling sports team that the kids are involved in, and dad wants to be a part of it as well, but he has to be able to get work done too at the same time. And so when you look at the way these vans are put together, they are built to spec. They're also, we have some models that we have prearranged for Ultimate Toys that are unique to Ultimate Toys.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, I think they're fascinating. I mean, those units they're quite impressive. I'll say that. Let's talk about you for a minute. Let's back it up from Ultimate Toys down to you. So, what brought you to Ultimate Toys and what did you do before then?
What brought me to Ultimate Toys, I thought it was a really unique and exciting opportunity. It was an opportunity to hang around with people that I generally would hang around with anyways, with a really cool product that they can explore and get to know as well. as far as myself before Ultimate Toys, kind of doing the same thing I do at Ultimate Toys. I look for tech innovations that can help drive us, move the needle forward, reduce some of our costs, enhance the customer experience, as well as removing the friction along in the process. And so that's always been kind of my premise in my history, where I've held roles such as VP, CMO, and marketing director in the past. And so when we look at, I'll give you an example at Ultimate Toys. So at Ultimate Toys, we focus on ultra luxury, really high-end clients, and they're spending $185,000 on a van.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I realized quickly on was, when people buy these vans, what's the first thing you think that they want to do?
Yeah, they want to get in and drive it.
Well, yeah, either drive. Well, they don't really want to drive. They want to open the side door and look
take a look.
at all the toys in the back, the TVs, the massage chairs, the bathroom. And so what we found was that people, one of the most easy things that you don't think about is they never turn on the master power. If you don't turn on the master power, nothing in the back's going to work. Yeah. So one of the things that I was able to implement pretty quickly as I came on to Ultimate Toys, was what we call a delivery video player. Okay. And it's this really beautiful player that comes with our vans. Once you open it, it has a beautiful video that welcomes you to the Ultimate Toy family, call it the Ultimate Family. And then it goes through the 8 things that you need to know before you get going in your van, such as master power, climate, music, TV, control, Wi-Fi, all that fun stuff. And so when you look at that, that does exactly what I've done historically, which is remove some friction, create an innovative solution, and enhance that customer experience. And that was just the start. Tack on layer 2, now we're also going to give them a couple additional items in our client appreciation by having a couple branded pillows, a blanket, and some other cool little tchotchkes that'll come with the van that them and their family will be able to use as well.
That's fantastic. That's really great. Your CEO, Josh, is brilliant. He's a visionary of all visionaries, and your GM, Sam, is an amazing guy. You guys have a great crew. You guys are doing really, really big things. How could, the automotive dealers out there, because tell me if I'm crazy for saying this.
Yeah.
You think a client might be a new car franchise dealer would be the right type of client to be looking at your Ultimate Toys?
100%. If they're a luxury car dealer and they don't have a shuttle that meets that demand, an Ultimate Toy to shuttle them around would be fantastic. When you think about it in those perspectives, and also those who own dealerships or run, you said 20 stores, they have to go from A to B to C to D. Why not get work done along the way?
Yeah, I love it. So final question for you. First of all, thank you for spending time with me. I really appreciate you flying in, and I love hearing stories, and I love hearing about other companies and watching companies grow and scale, which you guys have done.
One thing I want to parallel real quick before we get into the final question is, when we talk about my history and a little bit about me, I've always been in high volume dealerships. So, high velocity, large sales. And you're probably thinking, well, how many of these vans do you actually sell? We sold 44 last month.
Yeah.
That's pretty high volume for sprinter vans. And so it kind of follows the lineage of my career path, where I've always been in a high volume situation, but how do we get more? So, going into next year, we're looking to double that number to, 60 to 80 a month. Kind of want to, end the conversation on the note that we are a high volume dealer of Sprinter vans. And so it kind of follows the same historical path that I've taken in high volume dealerships.
Well, high volume in that world is high volume. It's a different description everywhere else, right?
Sure. 200, 300, 400, whatever it might be in a single point, 44, 35, even 32 is a large volume of these vans to move on a monthly basis.
And so my last question was, and you kind of answered, so we'll just piggyback off of it, is kind of what's next? What's the next vision for 2026 for Ultimate Toys? What direction are you guys headed? What if you could just kind of piggyback off that?
Yeah, so, again, part of what I want to bring to the table in my role here is how can we continue to grow our footprint? So what's next is, first, we're going to completely redesign these interiors. They're already badass as they are, Adam, and they're going to get even more so. We're going to change some of the lighting. We're going to make some big adjustments going to the next model year, which is really exciting for us, especially on the marketing side, to get it out there and talk about it, right? The other side of it is looking for other partners out there in the space, like who would be interested in carrying an Ultimate Toy, because in essence, we're kind of like the OEM bringing them to you and looking at models throughout the country. We can have a bigger footprint with actual physical inventory within other locations, giving other people opportunities as well.
Yeah. Well, I'll say you got an impressive business. You got an impressive business model. You got great people. So thank you for coming and spending some time.
Absolutely.
I greatly appreciate you. So again, thank you for tuning in to Training Camp exclusively on CBT News. Remember, if nothing changes, nothing changes. We must take action in our stores and be willing to invest into our training. Remember this, training, it's not something that we did, it's something that we must do on a continuous basis. And I'm gonna sound off with this final note. Fights are never won in the ring, fights are never won in the cage. Fights are won in training camp. Let's get to work.
Thanks for watching Training Camp with Adam Marburger, exclusively on CBT News.